Something naughty, something chocolatey. Man forced chocolate flavored condoms. Try something new.
I am Dr. Wadia. I am consultant psychosexual medicine at Adiva Hospital, Green Park. First, we must ought to understand what is a blind date. Blind date is meeting of two people, usually man and woman, or a girl and a boy. It can be the other way around also. It can be two men or two women also. But the peculiarity in this date is that you do not know the other person. So there's always a moment of thrill. There's always some kind of excitement of meeting somebody about whom you are completely unaware. So what we say always that it is the concealment part which is more attractive, which is more intriguing, which is more interesting than the revealed. So it is always a very thrilling experience to meet somebody on a blind date because you practically know nothing about the other person. While a blind date can be very exciting, we ought to understand both pros and cons of a blind date. When it comes to basically pros, it is a meeting where you are going to meet somebody with practically no liability. There's no feeling of guilt, there's no feeling of failure if the things do not turn out to be alright. So whenever you go for a blind date, more often than not, you tend to go in a very natural way, in a very spontaneous way, and we all understand that it is the spontaneity which always gives you the better results. So blind dates that way are very preferred dates, and primarily since the kind of lifestyle we have these days, everybody has got a busy life schedule. The stresses and strains of life are so much, there are so many anxieties, phobias, fears about the life. So blind date is one way where there is a lot of de-stressing. So blind dates are quite preferred by people these days. It has always been with human beings that you try to unravel mystery. You have always interest, you have always curiosity about the things which are unknown or mysterious. So when you meet a person with a lot of butterflies, there's a lot of anticipation, there is no bias, there are no preconceived thoughts, there's plenty to talk about. One chapter may lead to another chapter. There would be plenty to know. So you are always curious, and your curiosity is being quenched. Your thirst of curiosity is being quenched as you talk to a person. So it's quite a thrill to meet a person and explore all those possibilities. Besides that, there's no firm commitment before you go to a person. Since there's a blind date, there's absolutely no expectation. And you whether your venture is successful or not, whether you are happy or comfortable or not, after some time you start enjoying it whenever you think of those incidents, because they were totally extempore. It was just an experiment which failed or which succeeded without leaving any residual hurt or a kind of anger in you. So that way blind dates are always very happy and comfortable. Whenever one goes for the blind date, sometimes there is always an apprehension how it is going to turn out to be. You are always apprehensive what to wear once you meet a person for the first time, how you are going to talk about it, how you are going to conduct yourself. But more importantly, one must understand that whenever one goes for a blind date, it is very important that you are cautious. Because in present day, you will find there are a whole lot of people. People will be stalkers, people will be blackmailers, and with this morphing of photographs and all, there is always a risk of getting blackmailed. So one must understand that whenever you go for a blind date, it is always a good idea to have a little knowledge about the person that you are going to meet. In case that is not possible, one should be trebly cautious that when you meet the person, be very careful that there are no photographs taken. There's a precaution against what we say date rape and all, because with the kind of drugs available for the date rape, it becomes very easy to get trapped into that. So it's something which is very risky, and one has to take all the precautions. Life is something which is very precious. We always say you don't live twice. So life is definitely there to enjoy the thrill of life. And blind date is something which really foots the bill often. My advice to everybody is Do not feel shy of going for a blind date, but if you are going for that, be absolutely sure and confident and ensure that nothing bad like the negative side of blind rape happens.